One question many new players to Warframe seem to have is this: what am I supposed to do after I do this tutorial? It's a pretty valid question, as the game doesn't tell you in any clear way. It basically says, here, it's a map of the game, go play. It doesn't tell you what your objective is. Hopefully by the end of this video you'll have more of an idea about what to do. This video is going to be a lot more talking than showing, but hopefully it still makes sense. First off though, a quick apology. In my last video, it was brought to my attention that the quality of demonstration videos was not up to where I would have liked, mainly the revive section. I should have added some video to the background explaining the system visually. I hope to not repeat this mistake. Hopefully the audio was explanation enough, but I apologize if it wasn't. So the tutorial is out of the way, you're back on your ship in front of your nav console. What next? If you open your nav console, you'll see a lot of planets that are locked. Right now, only Earth is available to you. Your first mission after the tutorial? Start clearing the star map. Each mission you do will unlock it for later alerts and events. You will also need to clear missions through to the junction points. These are the points that link to other planets so you can continue to explore the map. To get through to the junction, you will need to complete each of the mission nodes on the way. Once you get to the junction, it will have a few objectives you need to complete to be able to do that junction. Your first junction should link to Venus from Earth and will have the following tasks. Complete quest 4's prize. Collect 20 mods. Apply 4 mods to a single Warframe or weapon. Upgrade any mod to rank 2 or higher through the fusion process. Defeat 3 Eximus enemies on Earth. These tasks aren't too difficult. The quest requirement is the tutorial quest, and you should have done that by now. Collecting mods is done by killing enemies and hoping that they drop. By now you should be close to or have completed this one. Applying mods is quite simple. Go to your arsenal and go to the upgrade section of a Warframe or weapon. Add mods from the bottom list to the slots at the top to apply them. Upgrading mods is also quite easy. Go to the mods section of your ship. Select the mod that you have, then click Fusion in the top left. You can then use the arrows below the mod to select which rank you want to level it up to. The new bonus from the mod appears on the left and the cost appears on the right. If both costs are ticked, it means you're good to go. If one has a cross next to it, it means you don't have enough of that resource to level the mod to that rank. When both of the numbers have a tick next to them, press the button that says Apply Fusion. I'll be doing a full video on mods soon, which will go into more detail on this and other things to do with the mod system. The last task is to kill 3 Eximus enemies on Earth. This may be a little bit harder than other tasks so far. The only real way to do this one is to complete missions on Earth and hope that an Eximus enemy spawns. You can tell if an enemy is Eximus because their name will have the word Eximus in it. Lastly, a quick note regarding the plains of Eidolon. You have to go there to progress the map, however, I highly suggest against doing that content yet. The first time you go there, you will likely have very little gear that can complete that content. Luckily, to unlock the node, all you need to do is step onto the plains by going through the door in Cetus. Once you do, you can then extract back to your ship and keep progressing through the map. Okay, so there is a ton of stuff to do in Warframe. The hard part as a new player is figuring out what you want to focus on. Some people are completionists and want to get every single weapon to rank 30. Some people want to complete the codex by scanning all enemies, items, and anything else that they can. Some folks enjoy endurance runs in defense, survival, or sanctuary onslaught. Others just enjoy fishing or mining in the plains of Eidolon. Personally, I enjoy farming enemies, ranking up weapons to get to MR25, and helping newer players. Everyone has their own goals for Warframe, and no goal is a bad one. It's totally up to you as a player. For a brand new player, my suggestion for a first goal is to complete as much of Earth, Venus and Mars as you can. There's a lot of missions and planets, but those first few will let you unlock a few good weapons and Warframes. Once you complete the junction between Earth and Venus, you will get a blueprint for a Taxxon. I highly recommend building this ASAP. Not only is it more mastery points for you, but it is also a pretty decent sentinel for the early game. Just as a helpful hint before we go to the next section, there is a method of accessing areas you haven't unlocked yet, commonly called a taxi. This is where a higher level player who has unlocked the areas invites you to a group, then starts the mission. It should send you to the mission along with them. As you're progressing, you're likely looking at your frame or weapons, wanting to see what else Warframe has to offer. No matter what you picked for your first Warframe, a good second frame is Rhino. Luckily, he's found on Fossa on Venus. To get the blueprints for Rhino, your first stop is the marketplace on your ship. In the top left of the marketplace there is a search bar. Click it and type Rhino to see everything available for him. You're looking for the Warframe itself. Once you've found him, click him and you'll see his stats and abilities, but also a cost in plat. Luckily for you, we're not going to buy him with platinum. Clicking the button you see here will let you buy the main blueprint for him. If you buy it and then check your foundry, you'll see that he requires a few parts as well as one gallium. To get the parts, you need to kill a boss a few times. Going to Fossa will make you fight Jackal, a large four-legged robot built by the Corpus. I'm not going to spoil how to kill him, though there are guides and videos out there if you don't care about spoilers. Due to drop chances, since you get one blueprint per kill, you're looking at an estimated 6 to 7 kills to get all the blueprints required. Worst case scenario, if you're very unlucky, you may have to do it up to 30 times. I've never heard of someone getting that unlucky, that's just what the math says, which was done by people much smarter than me. Once you have the 3-part blueprints and the main one, you can start to craft a Rhino. To craft a Warframe, you need to make the 3 parts called Systems, Chassis and Neuroptics. Each of these will take 12 hours to craft, or you can rush it with plat. For the record, I do not suggest rushing things, it's really not worth it. Once you have the 3 parts, you can craft Rhino. Now, he will take 72 hours to craft. Once he's done though, he's yours to keep, provided you have a spare Warframe slot. I'll cover the slots a little bit later in this video. A good way to look at switching Warframes is like changing class in an RPG. Each frame has its own strengths and weaknesses, and fills a different role. Rhino is very much a tank-based frame. He can be modded to almost never take damage at certain levels. Now that we're starting to get new Warframes or weapons, we should probably go over how the leveling system in Warframe works. Everything gets leveled up by collecting affinity, which are basically experience points. You get these by killing enemies or picking up small orange items that sometimes drop from lockers or chests. Hacking a terminal gives a little bit. Completing an objective in a mission or a challenge will also give a little bit of affinity. The way the game splits up the affinity gained for enemy kills depends on what killed the enemy. If it was killed with a Warframe ability, all affinity goes to your Warframe. If you kill an enemy with a weapon, it splits the affinity 50-50 with your Warframe and the weapon that killed the enemy. If you are near an ally and they kill an enemy, you will gain the same affinity that they do in the same way. If you're near an ally, you will have an icon in the top right. It will show either a 1, 2 or a 3. Watch in this clip as the Tenno affinity buff appears and disappears and goes from 1 through 3 as I get closer and further from my allies. This number is how many allies are nearby that are sharing their affinity. The range on affinity sharing with allies is 50 meters. Companions, both pets and sentinels, gain affinity in a similar way. If they kill with a weapon, the affinity is split 50-50 between the companion and its weapon. If they kill with an ability, 100% of the affinity goes to the companion. They also get bonuses from allies killing enemies nearby. If you decide to play very stealthily and get some stealth kills by killing enemies that are unaware of you, you will get a stealth kill bonus. The first stealth kill you do will give you a 100% affinity boost. Killing another enemy like this will give you a 200% boost, and so forth up to 500%. When you get this boost, an icon with a timer will appear in the top right near your buffs. Letting this run out will end the bonus. As I've said in the past, rank 30 is the highest you can take a weapon or warframe. To get them to this rank, each level needs more affinity. The formula to figure out how much affinity a warframe or sentinel needs per level is this: 1000 multiplied by the level and then squared. This means that for a rank 1 of a warframe, it requires 1000 affinity, rank 15 requires 225,000, and rank 30 requires 900,000. A weapon requires half of this, so 500 for rank 1, 112,500 for rank 15, and 450,000 for rank 30. This might seem like an impossibly large number, but trust me, it's not that bad. If you successfully complete a mission, you will gain an extra 125% of the affinity gained in that mission. This is shown as a yellow affinity bar as your weapon levels up at the end of the mission. This makes the process of leveling gear a bit easier. Alrighty, when you first make your account, you get a small amount of platinum to spend. You get a grand total of 50. Many new players spend this on rushing something or cosmetics. This is never the best course of action, as there are many more beneficial things to spend on early game. One of the most important things you can buy from the marketplace is slots. To have a warframe, weapon, companion, etc. in your inventory, it needs a slot to hold it. A warframe slot will cost you 20 platinum. Buying a weapon slot comes with 2 slots and will set you back 12 plat. Trust me when I say your first plat will be much more beneficial to you if you buy some slots. A slightly shorter video this time, but I do hope that it helps some people who might be stuck as to what to do now that you've started the game. Next up will be my video on the mod system. Considering how important it is, the video is likely to be longer but more detailed than others so far. Hope you guys learned something, and I'll talk to you all later.